I coached a girl for acting for an audition, and she came to me, and I found out halfway through coaching her that she had already been coached for this audition. And she broke down crying, and she told me that she went to the coach. It was for a series regular. She was a little bit greener student, and the coach said, I can't even help you with this. This is so beyond you.
Wow.
Like, it's a waste of time. Like, I can't even coach you for this. She's like 10 years old. Do you know? And it wasn't like she did it in a really gentle way. Well, I couldn't tell her on the Zoom, because I don't really know her that well, her. I want to be like,
yeah,
we're doing this, but, and I didn't want to tell her, you're gonna book it. Cause at that time, in that moment in her training, she wasn't, right? But I said, you know what this is? This is the opportunity for you to show casting what you can do. And you can do a lot. So let's get to work.
Yeah.
Why would who is this other woman? Forget that other woman. What right does she have to push this 10-year-old down? So what, like, the coach, the all-knowing acting coach. Like, I see this crap all the time. And I just it makes me like go crazy, because that can have a lasting impact forever. I mean, that girl could remember that moment forever. And so it's so important to keep people like you and me and coaches in that space that are like really like have big hearts and like this is not about me, you know?
In today's episode, we are welcoming Heather McCloud.
Heather McCloud is an amazing friend of mine. We met, years ago. Back in 2004, we were in the same scholarship program for a performing arts studio.
Almost exactly 20 years ago.
Whoa. It is 20 years ago.
Well, I mean, it's a little more than 20.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's so crazy.
It's August of
Wow, that is incredible. But anyway, Heather is just such an amazing human being. She has done so much in her life. She has been a dancer, has been in multiple commercials, working as an actress. She's an amazing writer. She's incredibly funny. She is also a businesswoman. She opened her own dance studio back in 2009 in the midst of a recession, and got that to be a very successful dance studio. 6 years later, she sold that. She has been acting, an amazing actress and an amazing mama to two adorable boys who are successful working actors in the industry. I mean, they're literally filming in some of the biggest network TV shows and movies. And just her take about, motherhood and being a mom with boys in the industry is really amazing. So I think you're going to love this episode. So coming right up. Hey, my name is Kat.
And I'm Lee.
And welcome to the
Wildly Wealthy Life Podcast. In this show, we explore the journey of what it means to live a truly exceptional and fulfilling life.
Each episode focuses on how a foundation of brilliant minds and brave hearts nurtured through the arts leads to lifelong success.
Get inspired with actionable tips to foster a growth mindset, leadership values, and creativity in children and adults, turning their potential into lasting contributions for their communities.
We hope that you embrace the challenge to shift your perspective as we equip you and the next generation for a
wildly wealthy life.
That was a great episode with Heather. We're about to bring her on in just a second here. What was your biggest takeaway, just to kind of prep our audience on what to expect?
I think that Heather comes from a very real, grounded place.
Yeah.
And hearing her points of advice are going to be able to be applicable across all different types of people from different countries and cultures and everything else. That's kind of the great thing, is she's just super grounded and tells it as it is. And she's amazing. She's really beautiful.
Yeah, I think I really love her approach with parenting with Dash, that she said this might be controversial parenting, but it's just so funny. And I think, maybe it's not for everybody. As you listen to this episode, maybe you're thinking, well, this is not for me. But you know what? It's effective for her because of her personality, because of who she is, the relationship that she's got with her child, right? I just love the way she approaches things. Just a big pattern interrupt for her child, I'm sure. And her child was really surprised, right?
I think as a preface, you have to say, like, every child is different, and they need different tools, different messages for some of them to snap out, and not to have these
rabbit hole of digging into,
not have doubt, not have negative words stick inside. Like sometimes you need a nice strong message to send them out. So I think that was a good moment.
So hopefully you'll love the episode. Let's bring her on. Hello,
friends. How are you?
Thank you, Heather, for being here. I really appreciate you, tuning in and being able to be available, especially when you are in Melbourne right now filming. So that's really awesome. I'm so excited. I guess I want to start with you have done so much in your life, like with everything that you want to do, your goals. I feel like you're someone that I look up to. When you have a goal, you really are so determined and so focused. You've done so much. You've been accomplished as a businesswoman with like your dance studio, and now being an amazing mom and raising two boys who are in the business, which I'm sure has its own set of difficulties and challenges. I want to know what has been, if you look back, what has been maybe like a thematic self-limiting belief that you have as a person? And
wow, this is like so deep. I love it.
Yes, we're going straight there. Like if you could pinpoint like one or two major self-limiting you belief you've had that you feel like you've had to repeatedly really try to, push past through.
Yeah, I love this question. First of all, thank you so much for having me. Of course, I feel the same about both of you. I'm very inspired by you both. That's probably why we've been friends for so long, because you guys both have that same tenacity and grit, because you still live in Los Angeles, let's be honest.
Crazy town.
Oh yeah, I know, it's wild. That's not to say that if you didn't want to stay in LA, that's fine. I totally get that too. Trust me. Weekly, I get that. But anyways, no, this is such a powerful question. It's something that I actually, it's so funny that you said this, because I just saved an Instagram post about limiting beliefs. I can't remember if I put it or not, but it's in there. And yeah, so I think that for me, there's really 3 limiting beliefs. And the first one is not belonging. I have felt like an outcast since I was a kid. I was picked on severely in elementary school. And I was fine by junior high, and it was fine in high school. And by then I didn't really care. But it was interesting because that feeling of not belonging carried into my experiences in Los Angeles in the dance world. And so I sort of always felt like this outcast, that I wasn't enough. I wasn't sexy enough, especially if you're a dancer. I was like too wholesome looking. I didn't want to party sometimes to the degree that the people around me were partying. Like I just never felt like I belonged. And so that is one that I really healed a lot when I created my dance studio, because everything was built around our ideas and our vision, and we were welcoming people into our space. And it was literally my mission to create a space where everyone felt like they belonged. And so that was one of the most beautiful things I was able to do, because people would tell me that, the amount of cards and thank yous and creating a space where people belonged was just really healing for me, but also a gift that I felt like I could give to others that maybe I didn't have growing up, and having that place and that support to be weird and yourself and, express yourself. So that was probably, and that's the most beautiful part about owning the studio for me. Another one is just imposter syndrome, which I think is just like that same side of the same coin, right? Yeah. You're like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it. And I'm not kidding you. I fake it till I make it every single day, like forever, no matter what. Like I just pretend like we know what we're doing. I have no idea. I can't tell you where we're going. I can only tell you what I learned. But so there's that one. And then this is a really, really personal one. I don't talk about it a lot, but I'm trying to talk about it more. Body image. It was just wild, the feeling like somehow the way I physically appeared. And that started before I was a dancer. That started from this childhood stuff that I went through and then was reinforced by dance and reinforced by different relationships in my life. And I'm still an actress, and there's so many ways that it's still reinforced today. And so having to really know that I am not defined by the appearance of my body. My success is not defined by the size of my clothing. All of that is something that I have struggled with deeply and still do. And it doesn't have anything to do with what size I actually am, because I've been all the sizes, and I could be small and never be enough, and it's just something that
I think the other side of that real quick is also like you're loved in all those sizes,
Yeah.
Heather. Big thing is I'm hearing you, I'm like, I don't know, I've always loved you. Like you're just like awesome to be around and like be around, and
that's what my husband says. Married me. No, I know, but you're so right. It's funny. Like I didn't even want to have a girls because I had a dance studio, and so many of my friends ended up with these eating disorders, and I didn't want my dancers to do that. And so I really prioritized health. I was very careful about the message that we sent out, and then I had 2 boys, but you're not even immune from it with them, you know? So there's just like, my next goal, because I don't own the studio anymore, is to maybe, this is something I've been waiting for a long time, like make an impact in this space, because it's something that is so important and so sensitive. No one wants to talk about it. But yeah, I think it's important.
Yeah.
I think it's linked to performing arts for sure. I mean, it's better. It's better. At least they let you in if you're athletic, but it's not good.
Yeah.
It's still not good.
Yeah.
All these women, like Pamela Anderson, not wearing makeup to the red carpet to like be like, we're gonna go against ageism. All these like celebrities coming out like that, like Jamie Lee Curtis and all these. It's awesome because we need that.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you for just sharing that and being vulnerable in that, because I think that a lot of people struggle with that. And it's so hard, right? Because it's like we know that we are loved no matter what size we are, but especially when you're in the entertainment industry, that's the first thing that people see. I mean, what do you do for auditions? You submit a headshot. It's all about your image. But yet they tell you it's not about how you look, but then it is about how you look, because it's the first thing that you give them.
100%.
Parts that you can't control. Like, you fit this particular role or you're not. It doesn't matter what you look like. It's this or that.
That's so crazy.
It's so true. It's so true. And now I even see these dancers, and they're on their social media, and they're like their abs, and they're like their every picture is like so hot. And I'm like, oh, thank God we didn't have that. You know?
Right.
I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they process it. It's wild.
Yeah.
It's so wild, that pressure.
Yeah. So now, as a mom with 2 boys who are, working actors, and they're still so young, right? Have you seen them go through their own self-limiting beliefs, and what are those for them? And, what are those for them? And then what do you think is like your kind of biggest struggle with it, and how do you help them overcome it?
Yeah. So my kids, just for a little bit of background, I'm not even trying to brag, but I just want to put it in perspective. They're on the biggest sets in Hollywood. They are like at this game, like my 4-year-old, I'm in Australia filming for series regular for a major network television show. My, Dash was series regular by 7, the pilot didn't get picked up, and now he's in this huge Marvel movie that's about to come out.
Yeah.
So we're at it at the biggest level. And fortunately, they have gotten into it at an age where they are not self-conscious. They don't really care. They don't, that just hasn't developed for any kid, really, that young. But Dash is getting older. I heard him make his first comment the other day. He said something, and both my kids are very fit and whatever, but Duke is very skinny and like very, very skinny. We're like, eat you child. I need to make you some chicken right now. And Dash made a comment, and I just was like, oh, the wind sucked out of me. He was like, Duke's skinny, and I'm not. And I was like,
wow. The comparison is coming in.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's new, And I was like, well, it's not really about that though. I said, you're super healthy. I said, if anything, you eat better than healthier than Duke. No, but not comparing. But I was like, it's just about being healthy. And I said, because your body is going to experience all different kinds of changes throughout your life. And they're all great. And they're all part of you. And they're all wonderful. And they're all okay. And you're very healthy. You're very active. You're very fit. And you don't need to look like anybody else. You don't need to be like anybody else. And that was like one where I was like, oh, okay. I feel like this is where I need to be paying attention because he's paying attention. And the other time, this might be controversial parenting here, but we were shooting in Italy, and we were in Sicily, and Dash heard this song in a store, and he liked it, and he started dancing, and he was like 7, and he started dancing, and he's like going full out in the middle of the store, and these people walked by the store, and they started laughing at him because they thought it was cute, Yeah. He was like just rocking out in the store. He totally shuts down. He starts crying. I've never seen that. He crawls under this clothing rack. It won't come out, and he's crying. And I was like, what is happening? Like, can we go? He won't leave, nothing. And I'm like, what is going on? And he's like, they were laughing at me and, whatever. And I was like, well, I think they were laughing because they thought it was fun to watch you. Yeah. No, they were laughing, and it was mean, and it wasn't okay. And and I don't feel like a good dancer. He's a great dancer. And so I whispered in his ear, I don't know, can you bleep me out on this?
Yeah, totally. If you want.
I whispered in his ear, and I was like, and he goes, what? And I go, them. And he goes, what? Mom, you can't say that. And I go, yeah, I can't them. Those people, them. I go, you're awesome. You're the man. I go, stand up, own yourself. You're awesome. I go, them. Right in his ear. He did it. I mean, the fact that I was saying this, it was like, but you know what? It was like I woke him up. You know what I mean?
It jarred him.
Get out of that. What is that?
Yeah.
And he was like, Mom. And so it's so good because ever since that day, if I ever see him like feeling like that little thing comes in his brain, I'll literally just walk up behind him and I'll go, and he'll go like, okay. So bad. Maybe other people parents like that's crazy, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just like I was so mad that he was like losing that fire, and that people are always going to try to take it away. But his journey could end up being really, really hard compared to what most kids don't have to do that in a public space, and that's the thing I worry about most for my kids because I don't want them to be famous, but I don't know that I have control. So it's like I just want to be so clear about like we're not gonna do that, like, I got you, we got you, like this is what matters, like get your head out of that space, so I don't know, I'll let to be determined. I'll let you know how it plays out in 10 years.
When President Roosevelt passed away in his sleep, they found a book under his pillow, proof that even in his final moments, he never stopped learning. That's what true leaders do. Leaders are readers. If you want to grow your mindset, sharpen your skills, and become a better leader, reading is essential. I've compiled my top book recommendations, books I've personally read and applied in both business and life. These books have transformed the way I think, lead, and live. So, are you ready to grow? Check out my book list at wildlywealthyLifepodcast.com/mytools and grow 1% better every day. Think about the world your child will grow up in. Fast-paced, ever-changing, filled with challenges. But what if they had the mindset, courage, and the creativity to thrive no matter what? At Catskis and Company, we believe in shaping that future now with Brilliant Minds, Brave Hearts, our online immersive program for children where they learn leadership and a growth mindset through the magic of storytelling, movement, and music. There's a ton of leadership, mindset, and confidence training for adults. But why should your kids wait till they're adults to learn this? Your child needs these tools today before the world dictates who they should be. Imagine raising kids that know the power of their thoughts, the capacity to navigate emotions, and the courage to live boldly. With our Brilliant Minds, Brave Hearts program, they'll learn to stand strong in who they are no matter the noise around them. Join our priority list at catskis.com/priority and be the first to know when enrollment opens in November. Again, that's katzkeys.com/priority. I'll see you there.
How do you find the battle with that self-image with all the social media that's going on? Like, what are you thinking about for steps to protect them? Because I know, like, with my nieces that are, my niece Paige 3 days ago passed her driver's license test, but it's like that whole launch. And then my other one is 14, and they just the challenges that are out there. My other niece Morgan also, like, just the challenges that are out there coming from all different angles, because they live and breathe off those phones, you know, at a certain age. My brother and his wife, they take the cell phones at night, you know, and kind of check, make sure everything's like, okay, monitor what's going on and that kind of thing. But I mean, there's just so many different attacks,
voices,
you know, on the identity that we carry. What are some things that you think you are planning to do or currently doing along with FM to help?
That pattern interrupt is so good.
That's such a good question. I actually worry about this all the time. So my plan, I do actually have a plan. So we are doing no smartphones till high school. And my goal is no social media. And my goal is that they won't be interested in social media. I don't know that I'll have control over that. And to be honest, I think it will be influenced probably in many ways by where they end up schooling and how they end up schooling. Like if they end up at a high school in person, I think it's really hard to avoid social media once you're, 15, 16, 17. But I think if they end up doing an online program, which just depends on if they want to keep acting, which is their choice, that might be easier because there might not be that pressure and that influence. But like right now, my kids don't have phones. I mean, they're 8 and 4, but some of Ash's friends already have phones. He's turning 9. Some of his friends have phones. Or he doesn't have a smartphone. He has a phone only when I'm away like this. Then he has a phone, but he can like only text and call on it. Doesn't do anything else. Just no smartphones at all. And I really would like them to hopefully not be interested in social media, but I think at like 16, I mean, we're almost done anyway. They've got to learn how to like manage some tools, and I've got 2 years with them in my house to help them. Yeah. So like maybe that's where we'll end up, but definitely no smartphones before high school. I'm not even going to fight that battle. And then the other thing would be like just for their career wise, there's a lot of parents who grow their kids' Instagrams, which is fine. No judgment. There's people who aren't in this industry that grow their kids' Instagrams. So that's all good. This is so not a judgment. This is just like a choice that I've made. I know you can get sponsorship, and I could get, people are like, you could get your kids so much money and, all this stuff, but we're not here for the money. I have chosen to not grow their Instagram accounts. If you were to go on their page, they don't even have 1,000 followers. They do attach social media to casting. So, and it does help in that way. And I think it lets people like, who are genuinely interested, like see what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen after Marvel comes out. I don't know. A bunch of people, like wake up and he has 30,000 followers one day. Okay. Yeah. But it's just like not something that I seek. It's also not something that I feel like I could totally get rid of. But he has no real awareness around it. Like I don't post that would be embarrassing for him later in his life, or
Mhm.
I don't post a lot of videos. It's really just like more photos, like look where we're filming. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but
yeah, and on the idea of like leading and that too, because you've done the dance world, acting world, you're a momager right now, an amazing wife taking
Acting.
care of the household with Michael doing his thing, and then what else? Dance,
Acting,
entrepreneur.
shows,
You've
writing.
got the new thing on your Instagram where you're like giving all the like coaching.
Yeah, I love that.
Like,
The
super fun.
yes, I
Yeah,
know.
well-
Well, thank you. Keep going.
Oh no, that's okay. We could talk about that for a minute. Actually, how's the coaching going? Let's just start there.
The coaching. Oh, my biggest struggle is consistency. Obviously, like that's my biggest thing. I was like doing so good for a very, very long time. Then I got back from New York, and it was I had been gone for 4 months straight, and I just hit like a wall.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are like this, but like sometimes it's so intense and it's so much work and it's like nonstop. And then, Mike is back and forth with us. So sometimes I'm a single parent a lot. And like, I literally just go into like hermit mode. It's like, oh, I texted Heather and she's taking 4 days to respond. It's because I'm like short circuiting on my floor.
You needed that time to breathe. Yeah.
You have to like go inward and be like, I love you all. I'll see you in 1 month. You know?
Yeah.
So that's like the hardest thing with the social media. So then I ended up hiring somebody this summer to be like, can you just like come up with all the ideas? And she like comes to my house and films it. She's amazing. And she puts it all together. She edits everything for me. And then all I have to do is like go on, tweak the caption and post it. And she got me like so many views. And I was like, this is amazing. Cause I don't have time to research all this. This is amazing. But then I went to Australia and then I'm here and it's like hard for me to be doing social media and doing everything else I'm doing. So consistency is my biggest thing. But I put tips on there. It's Heather's Hollywood Hotline.
That's great. Hollywood Hotline. I love this.
How to get your kids into the entertainment industry and thrive.
Yeah.
I sound like I make
TikTok, Instagram. Where am I finding this?
My TikTok is like.
But seriously, all jokes aside, Heather, the stuff that you put out there is really good because it's coming from a place of experience. This is, you're living it out. And so having, tips for parents out there who are wondering, well, okay, I have this child who is so into, entertainment, right? And what do I do with this child who is so entertainment? And of course, like if that's their natural inclination, you kind of want to, nurture that, right, and let them shine because that's what they want to do. But then a lot of parents, I think, are also scared, right, because it is a scary thing to put your children in the industry at such a young age. I know. I've
there was just another one on September 17th. They're scary, right?
They're scary. Yeah. Actually, the funny thing is, I watched the Quiet on Set. I watched it, right? And I told Lee about it because he didn't watch it, but I told Lee about it. And I was just like, I was actually thinking about you. And I was like saying, you know what, that's with Heather, if she's managing her kids, it's never going to happen to those kids because she's going, I'm very hopeful that it will never, ever happen because I know that you are so, hands on with them. And that to me, I'm just like, oh, that's amazing. They're just so
remember,
blessed.
I only have cats, so I can go to prison. It's okay. Don't put yourself in that position.
But seriously, how blessed are they to really have a mom who is present and hands-on? Like I just think that's really incredible. So that's really cool. But what you've put out there is really truly awesome because I think parents need guidance, with this whole thing.
I mean, it's so interesting. Going back to your point about like that would never happen to my kids. It's so funny because I actually lead with the thought of like this could absolutely happen to my kids.
True. Yeah. So then
I am like, so my job is to build this like arsenal of education around this business. I talk to every single child actor that I am fortunate enough to meet, I was fortunate enough to be in class with a very famous child actor who was so generous. When he had Let's Be Tigers come out, and it was really good, and he was 5 years old, and I thought, oh my God, I think this is going to go way beyond commercials for fun. And he was so lovely because I was able to sit down, and I took him out to breakfast and was like, can you just like tell me everything? And I really asked if I could talk to his mom.
Yeah.
But she was around. And he was so generous with his knowledge, and a lot of like the stuff he taught me and the confidence he gave me too, you know, because I was like, well, what if they end up on drugs and alcohol? And those are things I don't have control over that.
Yeah.
But he looked at me and he was so sweet. And he goes, Heather, he goes, you don't have to be a child actor to end up on drugs and alcohol. And I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I know a lot of those people, and they are not child actors.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Yeah.
you don't have to be a child. What if he gets bullied? You don't have to be a child actor to get bullied. Oh yeah. Look at my life. Okay. You know, it's just like, and he was like, so you can actually still provide them without having to lead with fear, these incredible life-changing experiences. And that gave me a lot of confidence. And his mom did a really good job. And so I think that was so encouraging. So I thought, okay, I want to just share this knowledge with other people and help protect kids. I wish that I could like have more time to devote to more advocacy. There's so much that I have lists that I keep that I want to get out the bag and be like, hey, let's talk about these things. Like this is happening. These are where the protections are really shortcoming. And there's so much more that I want to do, but my time is so limited right now.
Right. Yeah.
So I thought, okay, this is the best avenue right now. I can like educate people online. And also I've been hit up a lot because I coached dancers for 20 years. So I have a ton of coaching experience. And if you've ever coached kids, like you, Kat, you've coached dance, you've coached piano, you've coached chess, like everything. When you are a coach, a good coach, the vessel that the message flows through is the same. The message is the same. It's just reflected in dance, math, science. But the way you do it, the way you present it, the way you translate it, the way you motivate, the way you build self-esteem, all of that is really what matters. And then the subject is just the subject. But I've got a lot of inquiries about like who trains my kids, and I train my kids. They don't go to anybody else because I'm like, got it dialed in. And people are asking if I will coach their kids. And so I don't have time to coach individually because it's so spontaneous, like with auditions and stuff. I'm like, I can't even do our own auditions. But I do think that I will end up launching like this 6-week sort of masterclass that is like for 9 to 12-year-olds. That's sort of like an introduction to getting them to be more independent in their art form and to teach them the foundational skills that like I am literally working on my kids, like developing. So I think that that's something that I will probably roll out. I mean, I'm supposed to roll it out right now, but I'm in Melbourne. So probably starting in November, I'll be back in Melbourne. But I think I can do it like timeline. So I'll be back because it's never ending. I think that that's like a way that I can give back now in this space because I've been looking for that for a long time.
So. Now with the, I think I really like what you said about how, when you are coaching, like for me, I really do know that when I teach piano, it is more than just piano, right? I really do feel like I am teaching important life skills because again, whether it's dancing, singing, acting, chess, whatever it is, math, as you said, those are kind of like the vehicles, right? Like those are the things that kind of like the tangible skills, but then the life skills that sometimes are so intangible in the beginning but actually comes out as we become adults, right? They are so important. And that's also part of the reason why we started doing this podcast, Heather, is because I'm actually restructuring my program offering for piano, and I'm really leading with mindset coaching, life coaching. Basically, it's all about mindset and leadership skills, but through music, because that's my vehicle, right? As you're looking back, you shared about your own self-limiting beliefs. Your kids have their own, especially as Dash is growing up, all of a sudden you're realizing, oh my gosh, comparison is happening now, all these things. What do you think it would be very helpful for kids nowadays, like in our system? Maybe not the school educational system, because it's really hard to kind of sometimes implement something new and change the way the educational system is already doing its thing. But if you were to implement something, aside from what you're doing with like Hollywood Hotline and all that, what would be like so important for kids to have to be able to get their mindset strong and develop those leadership values as they're growing up?
I would love to say like a really solid family foundation, but we all know that that is not always, even with the parents who have the best intentions, that's not always possible for every child, for a lot of kids. So, I mean, I really think that one of the best things is literally like what we're already doing, which is having responsible adults who are creating joy through whatever vessel, that vehicle that is, like whether that's baseball or dance or singing, something that whatever that child loves. But here's the thing, having responsible adults who are not in it for their own ego, who are really genuinely there to mentor the kids, because they will always have a space that they can go to, that they can connect with, an adult that they can trust, and someone who really believes in them and cheers them on. And I have a lot of really strong feelings about the people who are in the mentorship space. As I find that with kids, it is incredibly, I mean, probably all across the board, but kids is the space I've always been in. It's very like egocentric. And I have my own experiences where I really looked up to someone who I really respected. And then when I got to know them, they were more interested in making sure that I didn't rise to keep them inflated, actually genuinely helping me move forward. And I met those mentors met them like time and again, and it's just devastating. I coached a girl for acting for an audition, and she came to me, and I found out halfway through coaching her that she had already been coached for this audition. And she broke down crying, and she told me that she went to the coach. It was for a series regular. She was a little bit greener student, and the coach said, I can't even help you with this. This is so beyond you.
Wow.
Like, it's a waste of time. Like, I can't even coach you for this. She's like 10 years old. Do you know? And it wasn't like she did it in a really gentle way. Well, I couldn't tell her on the Zoom, because I don't really know her that well, her. I want to be like, yeah, we're doing this, but, and I didn't want to tell her, you're gonna book it, because at that time, in that moment in her training, she wasn't, right? But I said, you know what this is? This is the opportunity for you to show casting what you can do. And you can do a lot. So let's get to work.
Yeah.
Why would that? Who is this other woman? Forget that other woman. What right does she have to push this 10-year-old down? So what? Like, oh, the coach, the all-knowing acting coach. Like, I see this crap all the time, and I just like, it makes me like go crazy, because that can have a lasting impact forever. I mean, that girl could remember that moment forever. And so it's so important to keep people like you and me and coaches in that space that are like really like have big hearts and like this is not about me, you know?
Like I know Kat's history and where some of that passion for lifting other people up really comes from like a deep place. Do you remember when some of those moments really broke you, like really hurt you, where this strength has really grown out of.
Yeah, I do. I didn't grow up in like competitive dance when I was a kid. I didn't start that till like I was older, like 15. So it wasn't really when I was a kid. It was in my early 20s. I was super vulnerable. I was like in LA. I was broke. We were on Edge Scholarship. We had body evaluations. I was on the verge of probably waiting for the catalyst to kickstart my eating disorder. It was just like, we just needed someone smoking a cigarette next to a haystack for that to get launched off. Wow, I'm going to tell this story. I'm not going to tell names, but I'm going to tell this story because this is messed up. So we had to do our Edge Scholarship show, right?
Yeah.
And our director made us go set up meetings with with all the agents that didn't pick us so that we could get feedback. It's like a good idea, right? So that you could get feedback about why they didn't pick you. Got your big panties on and learn something and move on and figure out how to get signed, right? Or go in there and negotiate and fight for yourself and figure out how to get signed. Okay, great. So I got no agent offers from the Edge Scholarship show, which was devastating. Devastating. Yeah. That was like, oh my God, I gave up a full ride academic scholarship at Arizona State University to come to LA. My parents like, weren't you supposed to be a lawyer? Like, I want to be a dancer. I danced 40 hours a week. I worked 20 hours on the weekends at Express. Hell, on my feet 24/7. And I got no agent offers. So of course I had to go make all these meetings. And I went to the first one, and it was at the time was the biggest, hottest dance agency that you could find with. And I went in there, and this woman sat across from me. And she told me that she goes, I don't even really remember you. I feel like you weren't memorable. There's nothing unique about you that makes you stand out. You look like a very regular person. You're really pale. So like, if you don't want to tan or commit to spray tans, I feel like you should maybe dye your hair black. You should consider blue contacts to make yourself look more exotic. Like, I just think that we don't know what to do with you, and you're just very, very plain.
Wow.
And I remember pairing that with the message at a rehearsal that we had for our Edge Scholarship show, where we were in a dance. You were, I believe, in that dance as well, Kat. And we had these 2-piece outfits on. And after we were done, we were told, sorry, I'm like, really, I don't want to use anyone's name. We were told that we did not work hard enough, that our bodies were not ripped enough, and that if the choreographer could not come up with a 1-piece situation for the show in like whatever 2 days it was, that the piece would be pulled. So it was like all of these voices that were so powerful, the gatekeepers of the world that I had sacrificed everything to get into, were making it very, very clear to me that I was not enough and I did not belong in this industry. And I went on to get signed by, I will say her name, Lisa at MSA. She's not there anymore. She owns a separate talent agency, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
She's so wonderful. Bless that woman. And even if she hadn't signed me on that day, the way she treated me with respect was so wonderful. And I don't understand why gatekeepers have that kind of power, you know? And I was never taught with intention to learn how to not give up my power, which is something I do teach my kids now.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was like really, really, really rough. I think that kickstarted a very, the cigarette fell into the haystack.
Yeah.
And years of chaos and emotional recovery and self-discovery, which I'm thankful for now.
Yeah.
Because it makes me who I am, and I'm a better mother because of it. And I see things, you know, I pay attention to things, and I've helped a lot of kids. But yeah.
I really hope somebody in the creative world, or even actually, I mean, that transcends the creative world. Just if you're out there and like you have somebody that's that negative voice, you really need to cut that out. Actually, I just had a text from a recent MBA grad who went to a women's group, like a women's leadership group in LA here. And one of the messages she walked away from was like, surround yourself with people that build you up and stay away from the negative voices. And she's like, you know, like all through high school, college, she had a rough time. And then she just moved to a different circle where people are like lifting each other up and building each other up. And like, there are those circles you have to get out of sometimes where you're at, and you have to go into new circles, but those build up circles are
That's
there.
exactly what happened to me. That's like 100% what happened to me. I ended up landing in Gregg Russell's tap world. And it was like, all of a sudden, there were all these, I mean, I say this as like literally like the biggest compliment, but like tap nerds, like me. You have to be a certain type of person as an adult to start tap dancing at the seriousness that we were taking it. You know what I mean? I mean, like, let's just, if you can't laugh at that, if you can't pull yourself out of the forest to laugh at the trees a little bit, like, come on. You know, it was like, you have to be really like a certain kind of person. But that was Gregg Russell as a mentor. Gregg Russell is one of, I think, for many people, you know, he's not a perfect man. He's not. He was one of my best friends. So I knew him on many levels. He was not a perfect man, but he was such a fantastic mentor. I mean, he literally lifted everybody up, everybody around him up. I mean, he made you feel like $1 million. He was like, you can get in here. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yeah. And when I went to his memorial, it was like, there was this sort of theme of his memorial service was that he believed in me before I even believed in myself, you know? And I was like, wow, like that is so powerful. I want to be that kind of mentor. But yeah, I think it was just like, he believed in people before they believed in themselves. Yeah. And I remember thinking, that's what I want people to say about me. Yeah. And I see that thing in them that they couldn't see yet. Yeah. Because that, if you had to sum up mentorship, that is like the foundation of it, to express itself through that human. And Gregg was never, if you were to like be in his company and be like, you know what, this isn't working for me, I'm going to leave and go do this other thing. Gregg would never shame you for that. He would never talk bad about you for that. He would just be like, I wish you the best of luck. He was no ego involved. Yeah.
Are you worried your child feels defeated when things don't go their way? Do they struggle to adapt in challenging situations? My free video training is here to help. Using the SMART learning method, blending storytelling, movement, and music, we engage your child's mind, body, and heart. Through uplifting stories, interactive activities, and joyful music, your child will learn to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. For deeper insights on the SMART learning method, check out episode 4. Download your free video training today at katskis.com/mindset and help your child shift their perspective and thrive. Again, that's katzkeys.com/mindset. Spending time with family, creating unforgettable experiences, and seeing the world are all part of living a wildly wealthy life. And that life isn't just for the crazy rich folks. It's for anyone who knows how to travel smart. This ebook from Just Get Out of Town didn't just change how I travel, it transformed my life. Lee and I flew both our parents to Paris for $200 each in first class, while others paid $1,000 in economy. Our first class flight to Taipei, just $50. In our podcast, we talk about leadership skills and how a true leader never stops learning. Because I learned this way of traveling, we now take luxurious trips as a family for 80% less than what others pay. Go to wildlywealthylife.com/mytools to grab your copy today and start creating your own unforgettable memories around the world.
I do really believe 100%. To me, same thing, like mentorship, coaching. It's really about seeing their potential and calling them to that potential and believing in them before they can even believe in themselves. And you know, when they're having these self-limiting beliefs, it's like, no, I refuse to fight for your limitation. I'm not going to fight for your limitation with you. Like, I'm going to fight for actually what I believe you're so much more capable of. And I love that, because I feel like that shows up all the time with my classes too, like with piano. You know, it's crazy how, and I see it too, it's funny how I see it as they get older. Like, I always see, you know, like the young kids, like 6-year-olds, they're like, oh yeah, I can do anything. They're excited about it. And then we get to higher levels as they get older, and they're like, that's hard. I'm like, no kidding, it's hard, because we're at a different level. You know. But does that mean you can't do it? I'm like, you've already done hard things. Guess what? When you were 6 and you learned this first piece, that was hard. You just didn't see it as hard at that time because you were a kid. You didn't, you thought you could do everything. So crazy.
That's so right. I know there's this there's like 2 Gregg like sayings that he used to do that I like totally stole, that I love so much. Of course, this one I say all the time, but it's a share, not a compare. Use that like in my house all the time. People are like, you know, do your kids ever get jealous? Like, is Dash jealous because he's now having to be the one who's in Melbourne on the sidelines while his brother's working? And I'm like, no, it's like totally cheering him on, you know? Are you jealous because your kids are working and you have no time for yourself and you can't get an audition? I'm like, no, I'm not jealous. Like, no, I'm happy for my kids. People really ask me, I get it. It's like a valid question. But even outside of that too, is like, I'll tell my kids, it's okay if another kid gets that role, because it's a share, not a compare. And there's going to be more roles, and there's enough room for all of us at the top. Yeah. But the other saying that I love too, when you were talking about where you're like, no, I'm not going to reinforce your limiting beliefs. Gregg, like going back to like snapping kids out of it, you know, can't say F them. Then I would say, he would always go like, who knows more about tap, me or you? And you'd go, well, you. And then he'd go, okay, so stop talking. That's how I used to do all the time in my studio. The kids would be like, I can't do it. I don't know I suck. That one, I suck. I'll never get it. I suck. Yeah. And I go, more about tap, me or you? And they would go, you. And I go, yeah, so you don't even know enough to make that judgment. Like, be quiet. Go. Stop. What are you doing? Stop. Why would you? Okay, bye. It's like, don't even entertain it. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah, okay, well, I believe in you, so I know more about tap, so sorry, you lose. Bye. Here we go. Keep going. Flap all change. You know? It's like, same with my kids. I can't do this math. It's hard. No, you can do math. You just did math. Like, you know, math. Although that won't last long. Soon you'll know more about math. But you know what I'm saying? It's like so right. It's like, I'm not writing this right with you. Bye. You know, exactly. But I also like try not to put, I don't want to be like, I don't want to also get on like the drama train with them. Yeah. More like that, like one of those, like, you know, like slap out of it. You know, it's like, I don't know.
So good. Well, Heather, this has been really wonderful. I have like one last question, but I don't know if you have another one before we.
I'm getting flashbacks of like, you know, my time teaching and like seeing those different moments where you not literally slap it out of them, but like, you know, there's fear and you just pull out the bravery, you know, from these individuals to go and stand up and defend themselves. The students that I've talked to over the last 20 years, seeing the limiting beliefs that they've had all the way through from, you know, middle school, high school, and then getting into college, you know, all those formative years where just like you had some negative voices thrown at you after getting out. Wow. These people had that before they even get started on their journey. And the growth, the overcoming of the challenges, the success, you know, finding the circles of people who believe in them, finding their tribe, finding the, you know, animation nerds, the fashion nerds, the cooking nerds, the construction nerds, the designer nerds, you know, your pockets are out there. It's just a matter of like really connecting with those positive ones that build you up and bring you that joy, bring you that peace, bring you that fulfillment in what we do.
It's literally life-saving. Like what you're talking about is like so importantly, like finding your people can be life-saving. It's just like everything. So, you know, and you guys are like doing that for people. Like that's amazing. You know, we get weighed down in the like, bleh, you know, what that is in our life, in our, I do for sure. I'm like, ugh, like this is like
Yeah.
so. I mean, this is so much work, you know, or like even like building out business models and all the other,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh wait, this is actually really important work.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
absolutely.
And lasting and impactful.
Yeah.
That's the other side of it too. It's not just
Yeah.
like important for a moment. Like this is the skills that you are putting in or putting out there for people to take in,
Mhm.
like live on like
Yeah.
their entire lives, you know.
In every area. Yeah, it's so important.
Positive and negative. And that's what
Mhm.
is like, I mean, I mean, I don't know. I hope I didn't like throw anyone under the bus on this podcast.
This is the podcast where we throw people underneath the bus.
Like,
And then we cover up with a rug. It's okay.
and bleep told me da 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 and bleep. Just kidding. But like, no, but
I
I
don't know
also
if we should
feel
leave
like,
it in or just have a funny beep, like a chicken noise.
yeah, it is good. An eagle screech.
Yeah.
No. We have to be on brand. It has to be a meow. Jeez, seriously?
Or
Yeah,
it could be like somebody tapping. Something like
a flat ball change.
Oh my god.
Well, Heather, should we do like a little little this or that? I know we didn't plan that, but it would be fun to do it with Heather.
I'll go for it.
Okay.
This or that. Oh, this
Do
or
this or that, and then wrap it up because she's got to go.
Heather, noodles or rice? Or none of
Rice.
the above? Rice? Rice. Okay.
Rice. Before gluten-free, Heather, I probably would pick noodles, but rice.
Swords or rifles?
Swords.
Books or movies?
Movies.
Puzzles or Uno?
Uno. It's more fast-paced.
Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Since you have two boys, pee or poop?
Oh, you know what? I'm going to have to go with poop. And that sounds weird, but the poop is always just in the toilet and it's done and it's flushed. The pee is everywhere.
Seeps.
And it like haunts you and it seeps and you'll clean the whole bathroom and you'll go, how could it possibly still smell like urine in here? Well, I actually would pick the poop.
Yeah.
Wow. I guess
It holds together. There's a whole lot of like a whole
The
totally
pee
see
is forever. The pee is forever. It's like
Mhm.
you're not even cleaning the walls. I mean,
Yeah. That's not good.
I guess we could stop there. That's hilarious.
Why don't we go to that last question? You're looking at?
I love it. But you know what? It's true because even with cats, poop and pee. I mean, pee it lingers forever, but at least poop you can clean it up. The pee is just like, oh my gosh. Thankfully, our cats don't do that. Our cats know how to use the litter, so they have have accidents, no accidents. So it's okay.
You sound like me when the kids are at the store throwing a tantrum. I'm like, they're never like this. These are fine. These
Never
kids
like this. They're fine.
are always perfect.
These are my angels.
Except just for today. Today is just, a weird situation. It's one of those random days. Awesome. Okay. Well, Heather, thank you for playing with us today and for spending your time with us. We want to end with this question. What is your idea of a wildly wealthy life?
Oh my gosh. I think that what I've learned along the way is that the happiest I've ever been has not had much to do with money, but it has everything to do with relational wealth. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is it is the health of the relationships with the people that are in your life. Mm-hmm. And if you are surrounded by really good people who care about you and you have healthy relationships, I think you can weather anything that's thrown at you, like the ups and downs through life. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the company you keep and the health of that company. Mm-hmm. And because you can have all the success in the world and get all the things, but if you don't have good people who love you, I mean, what do you have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Heather, thank you so much. This is really great. I'm so happy to see you all the way from Melbourne right now.
I know. Well, but when I get back, though, we really will do like a proper lunch, and hopefully I'll have time when I get back this round. But if not,
It's okay. I know you have like a
I
crazy
really-
busy into November, December. It's okay.
December,
Yeah.
we're not doing anything but hanging out with friends.
Okay.
That's it.
Where can people find you?
Mhm.
And
Oh,
should there be
yes.
any specific movie tickets that we should buy in the coming weeks?
Ooh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I love these questions. Yes, please go check out Venom 3 in the theaters with Tom Hardy and Reese Ifans and Alana Ubach and Juno Temple and so many other great
But
people.
who's the special one that we're really going for?
Josh McCloud, my son, will be in it. I was told he would be in about a third of the movie, but we're about to find out here in like 2.5 weeks how much of it he is in. But he is a main part of the storyline, so we're very excited for that. That was really fun to film. So cool to film. So fun to do. And then you can find me on Instagram. That's my spot. You can follow me personally. Not Heather. Because why not Heather? Because no limiting beliefs. Why not Heather? That's literally where the whole handle is stemmed from. And then you can also find me at Heather's Hollywood Hotline for all the tips and tricks on how to get your kids in the biz. And then you can find all my kids on those pages. You'll figure it out. But yeah, no, thank you so much for having me and for the beautiful work that you guys are both doing in the world. And you're changing a lot of lives and getting the message out. And like, I don't know. That's great. I love that.
Thank you, Heather. Thank you.
Heather.
I will definitely, Heather, I haven't been to the movie theater since, maybe I've only been to a movie theater once since 2020, to be honest. Like, Wish, that's it. Like, I watched one of our friends was the voice for the movie Wish.
Oh, yeah.
So we went to the movie theater for that. And I think maybe I'll make this a theme. I'm only going to go watch a movie in the movie theater to support someone that I know, because I don't go to the movies, because my mind goes to, if I'm going to sit down for 2 hours to watch a movie, I need to have my cats on me. So why do I need to be in a movie theater when I can sit at home and have my cats on me?
There's got to be a theater somewhere where you can bring your cat. Like, that has to exist. Like,
I know, right?
That could be the new cat cafe.
Yeah, the new cat cafe.
Business ideas out there for
yes, exactly. Like cat cafe movie night. 100%.
Oh my gosh, yes.
My mind is literally going to how can I construct this awesome stage with like a cat frame. Do this whole thing.
It's straight to the woodwork.
So I will definitely go watch Venom because we know someone there, right?
Right.
So we're actually gonna go to the theater this time.
Yeah. Plus it's like comic book stuff. We will be fine.
Yeah.
100%.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for being here.
Thank you, Heather.
Bye, guys. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, friends, that's a wrap on today's episode of Wildly Wealthy Life. We hope you're feeling fired up and ready to take on the world with your brilliant mind and brave heart.
If you love this episode, make sure you hit that subscribe button on YouTube or your favorite podcast platform. It helps us keep bringing you the good stuff.
And hey, while you're at it, drop us a rating or review. It takes 30 seconds, and it makes a huge difference for us.
Also, if you know someone who could use a little guidance on growth mindset, leadership, and creativity, share this episode with them. Sometimes that one conversation can spark up a whole new direction.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. Go out there, live wildly, be wealthy in all the ways that matter to you, and we'll catch you on the next one.